Welcome back, everybody, to another Jam and Kenny video. This week, we're coming back to you guys with a little bit of a familiar subject, and I think this is going to be the third video like this that we've done, right?
Yeah,
Though,
number three.
and this week, we're coming to you guys with more fan theories that sort of ruin movies. Specifically, this week, I wanted to try two or three Disney movies. That are ruined by fan theories. One of them is, I don't know. I think I'm gonna save it for the end, but the last one is like super sad. Like, you think about like Bambi's mom getting shot in that movie. Like that was sad, but I think this is gonna be like even worse. But the first one I wanted to bring up was if you remember, we spoke about Finding Nemo a little while ago.
Yeah, Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen Finding Nemo.
Yeah. So, a little bit about Finding Nemo. It's the dad, Marlin, trying to find his son, Nemo. And, in just plain Disney old fashion, you know, Marlin lost his wife, Nemo lost his mother. And so it's a dad taking care of a child. Always a parent dying in one of these, right?
Yeah, I mean that's like a Disney staple. There's got to be some initial tragedy, whether we see it. Bambi was one of the few ones where they're like, "Oh yeah, this,
Yes.
we're gonna show you that, and then you're gonna feel that, and then we're gonna get into the cute story." And then nowadays, you just it's like Nemo. You know that it's the mom had died some time ago, and that's already sad, and it factors in at some point in the story. Yeah, that seems to be the Disney MO in a lot of these Pixar films.
Well, it's a great fact that you bring up the mother dying, and we're told that ahead of time, but we're also kind of told how she dies. There was a
Right.
barracuda attack on
Yep.
the anemone that they lived on, that they were starting their family. Marlin and the egg that Nemo's in, all that survived. Mom's gone, all the eggs are gone, right? But I think that's where like people figure the loophole start the not the loophole the hole in the story starts, and that's barracudas are open water fish, like they're out in the ocean, they're not around reefs where clownfish are, right? So that's like where people first started thinking, I guess. And then that sort of leads to, well, if there's no barracudas to kill them, what else is there? And apparently, clownfish, just like many other fish, will eat the eggs that they think will not survive or that they know won't survive to sort of help make sure all the other uh, eggs survive. And so the theory goes that in reality, it was Nemo's mom who ate all the eggs except Nemo, right? And
Mm.
that led Marlin to sort of go crazy. Now the theory doesn't specify whether or not Marlin killed her, but uh, a little bit about it is he went crazy, and that
Wait,
leads
so he
us.
went crazy because she ate all the eggs
She ate
except
all of
Nemo,
she.
or is
No,
it possible
well,
she ate all the eggs and Nemo doesn't even exist?
well
Or what is the
here,
theory?
here's the next part, because this is like a very convoluted one, but I thought it was really funny. Um, the next clue to this whole theory is Nemo. The origin of the name in Latin means nobody,
Mm.
right? So they're saying that Nemo's mom ate all the eggs. Maybe she left. Maybe Marlin killed her. Who knows? But the
Hmm.
theory goes that in his sadness, because in Disney movies everything is human and it has emotions just like us, and we've seen that some animals do. But he goes crazy and he's just looking for nobody the whole time. And a few things that sort of allude to that is how Marlin doesn't really go out, doesn't let Nemo out, right? Until he does, and then Nemo's lost. Nobody knows where Nemo's at. Oh, who's Nemo? Whatever. We see that And so then Marlin is on an adventure looking for nobody the whole time. So he's crazy. He's just swimming in the ocean crazy. And that's why Dory also has trouble like realizing who he's looking for.
Mm.
But she's
So
characterized as forgetful.
yeah, she's not a reliable narrator either.
Yeah. So this theory says that it's all happening in Marlin's head. His kids are gone. His wife is gone. Maybe there was never a wife, but he
Right.
was just crazy.
I like the idea that he kind of went crazy because so either something maybe it's possible she didn't even exist, but and he was just mad to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it makes sense. The whole what brings that together is the whole meaning of Nemo's name.
Yeah. Nobody. Who are you looking for? Nobody.
I, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just out here
that's very
being a
possible.
crazy old
Very
man.
possible. I mean, it might be one of those things where you have when they created the story, they kind of maybe they made it with that intention. I don't think they'll ever reveal something like that. But it just lends itself. I feel like a lot of Disney movies do that, where
Yeah.
there's like this secondary meaning that could be, but probably will never be confirmed.
Yeah, and it's because my theory on that is because they're all sad. So there's all tragedy. There's tragedy in all of these movies. Though at the end, there's a happy ending, but they're all superseded by a tragedy. You know, there's Nemo, his mom died. Bambi's mom died.
Yeah,
Let's see who else's mom dies. The Little Mermaid, we don't know who her mom is. Probably dead. Anna,
that's
Elsa,
true.
their parents
There's
are
always a
dead.
missing parent. There's always a missing parent.
Encanto, the grandfather's dead.
Yeah, well,
So
that
so
actually factored into a lot of the story.
yeah, it's superseded by tragedy. So I can see how the stories sort of lend themselves to further tragedy. Like expanding on the tragedy we already saw and then changing it all.
Well, their MO seems to be like we'll have this thing that happens, and it becomes like a character trait of
Yeah,
some sort. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the story. It's kind of in the background. It might come up at some point. It'll be a sad moment, and we'll remember. Oh yeah, that's right. Her mom died. That kind of deal, and
yeah,
it becomes part of it.
yeah.
But
What's funny about that is, we have a name for stuff like that now, thanks to the Marvel universe. It's called what is it? What are they called? Things that have to happen.
canon events.
Canon events. There you go. So these are all canon events that led to this point. So I mean, there you go with that one. And
Yeah.
then the second one that I'm bringing up was this was weird because I saw it and then I was like, I remember somebody telling me this a long time ago, and the only reason I thought about it because I was looking for these fan theories, and then one said Peter Pan fan theories, and I was like, oh, I remember. And this one's a little weird because it's very dark, but it's also feels like it can be very true, right? So this was on Peter Pan, you know, and so like if I asked you like what do you think the theory on Peter Pan could be?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to go off of there. I would have no idea. Maybe something like Neverland and all that never really existed, or just like a figment of somebody's imagination.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the theory that I heard on Peter Pan was that Peter Pan is the villain in all of this. In all the story, Peter Pan's the bad guy. And the reason is because, as it states in the movie, he in the story he kidnaps kids and takes them to Neverland, where they can be his friends forever, and they can they won't grow up, right?
Hmm.
Well, the problem with that is Peter's from Neverland, right? But all these kids aren't. These
Yeah, they're
kids,
getting taken there.
yeah. So the theory is, these kids are taken to Neverland, and they eventually grow up. And so the theory states that as soon as these kids start growing up, he kills them. Right? And there's more to it than just that. The second part of the theory is some of them do get away. Who do you think could have gotten away from Peter Pan?
Pretty much all the pirates.
The pirates, yes. Hook being the first one that got away. And now he leads the pirates in an effort to rescue these children that Peter keeps kidnapping and bringing there. Because they're going to grow up, and they know that once they grow up and Peter can't be friends with them anymore, or they might be like, well, we can't do this all day, we're grown-ups, Peter's going to kill them. And so Captain Hook is the good guy coming to rescue these kids, while Peter Pan is the one that's abducting children and then murdering them, basically, after they get too old to or they don't want to play with him anymore, you know?
That's interesting. That's very interesting, actually. I mean, do they ever say like what's? Do they ever say what Hook's real deal, like what
there was
their intention
the movie
is with Hook, or what happened with him? Is he somebody that used to be friends with? Did they ever confirm that?
I think the only time it happens is in the movie, that one that came out recently. Oh my god, what's it called? But like, it's the origins of Hook, and in the movie he's a kid and Peter Pan is in it, I think. I can't remember what it's called. But in the Robin Williams movie, we see that he is Peter Pan and he gets old, right? Mm-hmm. So we know that these kids can grow up, even if they are from Neverland. So I guess it's like a choice, but I don't think that choice would be available to the human children, right? So maybe Peter can do it, and people that are from that area, or, you know, or like in the Robin Williams movie, once he left, he got old. But yeah, this one I remember having heard a long time ago, and it's crazy. Yeah.
That, you know what's weird about that one? I mean, it's totally, yeah, I can see a lot of that, and then it makes a lot more sense when you think about Hook and the pirates and what the hell they're all doing there.
Because
you know, they
what's the beef?
They're lost boys that grew up and
what's the
didn't
beef?
Get out of there. Yeah. They just hate each other. They just that's how they present it. This is the enemy, and he doesn't like him, and he doesn't like him. You're like, okay, and you just go with it.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a cartoon, but you know, well, at least how it was presented to most of us. Obviously, it started from books, but there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that, you know, where they just kind of tell you this is what it is, and you just go with it. But then that's when these fan theories come into play. Is now you're given this kind of space to just theorize what is what, and I think that those are some of the best. Those are some of the best movies that they just tell you what is, and then they let you and the fans try to figure out and theorize and run wild with that, and just leave it up to interpretation.
Yeah.
And if you're like in true director fashion or true creator fashion, you just say, well, that's not it, and then just be like, but I like the idea though. You know?
Yeah, man. So after that one, I think it gets even worse. You know, I think that one, the Finding Nemo one and Marlin being kind of crazy, was sad. You know, Peter Pan's was kind of dark and crazy. But the last one, I think, has to be like one of maybe the top 3 saddest moments in Disney movies. And I don't know if you'll agree with this one. Like, I think this is probably like the number 1 saddest Disney movie of all of them, and it's Up.
I was literally gonna say that, but dude, I don't know. It's just something about, and they hit you with it right in the beginning.
Fuck, right in the feels, dog. You get so invested in their love. You get so invested in, oh man, they're gonna make it and it's gonna be fucking great.
That is the Disney way. That is the Disney way. Tragedy right in the beginning. You may see it, you may just hear about it, and then here we go into you know, it becomes that tragedy becomes the backbone to a story, or just becomes like a strong character trait, and it factors in and it comes back at some point in hitting into the climax of the film. I feel like they have like a legitimate uh what have you say, like a not strategy, but a formula, like a
Yeah.
legitimate formula to their films, and that's a major part of it.
The
Is-
and I think they probably perfected like the sad movie formula. I mean, there's other sad movies, but to turn sadness into triumph is like you said, it's the formula that they've perfected.
Yeah,
On
they
all
use that to
honesty.
propel the
Yeah.
triumph at the end, and it's just that they're in the dumps, and then
And
they
I
come
and
out,
I mean,
and everybody's all happy at the end.
it's a pretty old trope because I mean you saw it in like Greek tragedies. The wife dies and the husband has to go fucking save her from Hades or whatever.
Yeah.
But like this one, Carl loses Ellie at the beginning. We see a little montage where they meet,
Hmm.
they grow up, they fall in love, they get married,
Saddest montage of all time,
and
I would say.
they're ripped apart from each other. Oh, dude, honest, I'll tell you that. When I saw that the first time, I wanted to cry. Yeah, I was
You
like,
wanted to cry.
"Fuck."
You
Why?
wanted to
I
cry.
did it. I held it
You did that thing where you just gave yourself a
in. You just fucking
probably
like,
took some years off your life trying to hold back that.
yeah. It's a deep one too. It's a deep one too. But um,
And
you
it's all,
know,
I mean, they're old, like they're
yeah,
older when it ends, so it's not like
yeah. It wasn't too surprising, but
it wasn't tragedy. She
yeah,
just passed.
yeah.
But it was just so it was like a beautiful
Well, I mean,
setup,
dude, it
and then
wasn't
you
just
go
that
through.
either. I mean, you remember they couldn't have kids.
Yeah, that,
That's the other part of it
that is
that
the other
everybody
thing.
everybody remembers she dies, but everybody forgets she couldn't have kids. But once that whole thing passes, we come up to the beginning where they're trying to buy his house, if you remember that. And
Hmm.
this is the house that he and Ellie restored. And you see the house in the early montage, and there's a guy there, and Carl's just mad. He's like, "Nope, I'm not gonna sell. Stop asking me." And this is where the theory begins, right? So the house takes off the following day, right? Um, that's when he puts his plan into action. He goes, "You know what? Fuck this. I'm out." He's gonna lift the house up and fly away. And between the moments that they came to ask him for the house and that he takes off, the theory is that Carl dies. He's old angry dude. It's hard, just couldn't take the anger, and he dies
As usually happens in a lot of, you see that a lot, man.
in real life.
Like the older couples, and then one of the two passes away, and then the other one passes away shortly after. It's almost like a you lose the will to live,
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. The older you
So
get, the more
there
you
you
see
go.
that kind of stuff.
You made the first point in the plausibility of this theory. The next day, he wakes up. He goes through his things. Russell shows up at his house, trying to earn his badges. Right. Well, in this theory, it goes that Russell is a guardian angel, and Russell is there to earn his wings. You got it?
He's just all happy all the time.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, dude, I'm gonna get my badge, and I'm gonna get a promotion, and it's gonna be dope."
That's right. He's like a little
He's a scout.
Boy Scout, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
And so
It
the
all
reason the
clicks.
plan works, and this completely unbelievable plan that you're able to float a house away, which is probably possible, but it would be extremely difficult. So this is where Russell's journey to get Carl into heaven begins. Right? And so along the way, they're going through difficulties. He's trying to move the house. He's trying to get to, I forgot the name of the waterfall that they're going to. But he's trying to get the house there because that's a site that he and Ellie always dreamed of visiting. So along the way, Carl's helping him get there. right? Which is his job as a guardian angel, to get somebody to heaven. In the end, we see that it works out. But the reason I wanted to bring this one up is because it makes the movie so much sadder. You know, we talked about the montage where he and Ellie are growing up. You know, they get the bad news, dude, that they cannot have kids. But you know what? They're still in love. They keep going. You know, they get older. Ellie gets sick. And at this point, like you said, they're older. So it's a matter of time, right? And then you get to the last point where after she's passed, you know, Carl's faced with the situation of the world is changing. Literally, they're building a mall around him. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And he just can't take it, and he dies. And we do see that, you know, at the end, him and Carl are getting ice cream after Carl gets his badge. But it really feels like that was their crowning achievement. He goes, "We did it, dude. You finished your mission. You're in heaven. Welcome." You know?
Yeah.
And he takes those moments to be like, to like appreciate with Carl, which is how I sort of rationalize everything being wrapped up into a little bow. You know, we see that they have the balloon, and it's like, okay, at any moment we can go and we're done. But let's take a moment for ourselves. You know, so that's the last one I had for this week, and I think I think the fact people can like look at these movies and they come up with these theories like this. These are supposed to be happy movies. Disneyland, happiest place on earth.
Like I think there's a formula to what they did. I don't know if they meant to do it, if they're that, you know, or if it just kind of happened, and then they're like, wait a second, you know, people can use these theories to fill in like plot holes, or you know what I mean?
It does feel like that, because if you look at movies, usually, you know, you don't leave such big plot holes.
Yeah, you know? you will explain things, you know what I mean? But you know, to what I was saying earlier, it's like they leave things and they don't explain things, and they don't really go in detail on things because they want you to just kind of either you run with it, or you know, we know that we don't necessarily have to explain, because people will come out with their own theories, and that's part of the fun, and we're going to keep doing that so people can you know, have their own ideas as to what and it almost like adds to the experience of watching it, and kind of you don't even think about it, but you almost expect it subconsciously now that there's going to be stuff there that isn't going to be explained, and you can come up with it on your own, and your imagination will probably do more than what our writers could have done. And I mean, it's interesting now that I'm like looking into Disney theories. That honestly, that's a whole thing in itself. We're only doing 3 of them today, and maybe we'll bring that back because there's some other good ones looking at here.
Moana, dude, Moana's is good.
I'm looking at. Well, I mean, maybe okay. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this and come out with some more. And
there's some funner ones, but
there's some more fun ones. But then a lot of these, the fun ones, honestly, are the ones that are like the disturbing ones. Like you know, these kind of either they make the what you saw sadder, or there's a bunch of those.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like that. I like that stuff. But we'll see. If we can come back, and I definitely like to revisit some of these other theories that I see here. But yeah, these are some good ones. These are some good ones to start.
And I mean, and again, thank you guys so much for joining us again this week. If you guys do like these videos, leave us a like, leave us a comment, let us know. We'll make more. We'll keep digging. Again, you know, I found a couple Reddit threads. There's BuzzFeed articles. Some I remembered. That Peter Pan one, I saw the title. It said Peter Pan.
You remember hearing about that?
And I was like, oh, I remember hearing about it. So I mean, if you guys do like these videos, please leave us again a like, leave us a comment, and we'll do more. But thank you guys again, and we'll leave you with peace.